So I was at Toronto International Film Festival, and I still haven't talked about all the movies that I want to from the festival, but Vancouver Film Festival has already started, and so I've seen a couple movies from that, and I'm going to talk about some of them first, because one of them that I'm talking about in this video is one that's already out in US theaters in some places, so I'm going to talk about it now! And that movie is The Death of Dick Long. Excellent title, I know. This is the newest film from Daniel Scheinert, who is one of the directors of Swiss Army Man. Swiss Army Man was a very strange film that obviously a lot of people were interested in from the gimmick, and although I enjoyed parts of it and it certainly had some charm, I can't say I was a huge fan, and honestly the last scene of that movie was just awful. Anyway, this newest film was actually a pleasant surprise. Without exaggeration, this is probably the funniest film I've seen all year. And yes, it is a comedy. The premise of this film from the get-go is hilarious enough, and it just keeps getting better as it goes along. Now, I don't really want to spoil anything about this movie, so I won't really be talking about the plot, but what I will say is the best aspect of this film is the writing. This is the first writing credit for Billy Chu, and honestly, I'm excited to see whatever he comes up with next. The characters and scenarios in this film are just absolutely hilarious. Everyone on screen is a joy to watch. Some characters have amusing little quirks and behaviors that the film doesn't explicitly call attention to. All of the acting is honestly great. The only real issue I have with this film is its overall tone and personality, which is a weird thing to say while still recommending a film, I know. The score for the film felt very amateur and often misplaced. It's like the soundtrack was trying to go for something ironic and juxtaposed, but it wasn't quite there. The overall cool tone the music was going for was kind of obnoxious. There are licensed songs that appear in the film as well, and every single one of those works fantastically. The irony in how they're used is clear and effective, but when it comes to the actual score for the film, it's difficult to tell what they were even going for. The first 10 minutes of this film play off way too straight, and it's only after that point that you can really call it a comedy. The rest of the film is absolutely hilarious, but the first bit feels just like any other random, bland, boring indie movie, and this wouldn't be the case if the camera work and cinematography just had some style to it. Perhaps there's supposed to be some sort of irony to how bland it's presented, but it doesn't really feel that way. This film has such a hilarious story and characters, and it's honestly a little sad because if the filmmaking had more of a personality, then it would be so much more marketable. Unfortunately, this seems like a movie that not many people will watch, so hopefully I can change that a little. So seriously, despite my criticisms, check this one out, see if it's playing near you. I know it's in a couple places in the States right now. Although there are certainly elements that hold it back, this still managed to be one of the most funny and entertaining movies I've seen all year. I'll definitely be watching this one again and showing a bunch of friends, and I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Another film I saw at Vancouver Film Fest is 63 Up. Now, I've wanted to talk about this documentary series for a while. This is the 9th installment in the series, with the first being 7 Up in 1964. The first film interviewed several different 7-year-old children from Britain with a variety of backgrounds, and every 7 years the director revisits these same children to see how their lives have progressed. It is a fascinating experimental project and one that holds a lot of purpose and emotion. One of the ideas this series explores is how much people change throughout the years, how much of your personality and character is embedded into you at the age of 7, how much of yourself is already decided by that point, and how much is there left to determine. Watching each of these characters reflect on their lives and their struggles throughout the years is just so special. Now, don't feel too intimidated by the fact that this is the 9th installment in this series. Each of these documentaries functions as their own product, and they always include clips from the previous films. There are often parallels found in the statements and behaviors between the current and previous films, and it's all packaged and edited together very appropriately. There is nothing else like this documentary series, and it's one of the most honest projects ever made. With these characters reaching old age and many of them now retiring or experiencing health complications, this particular installment feels like the most complete and conclusive one I've seen. There's something absolutely heartbreaking about seeing these people throughout their lives, the expectations they had for themselves when they were younger and how that's reflected in their current selves, the ideas of acceptance and of failure and regret. This is one of the most important documentaries you could watch, and I cannot recommend it enough. At some point, I hope to check out every film in the series. Right now, I've only seen the first and the 2 most recent. I hope to see another one in 7 years from now, but who really knows? Anyway, check this one out whenever you can, because it is great. And I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10 for now. It's closer to a 9 than a 7, I think, but right now I'm giving it an 8. Thank you.